area. I think it's,
I spent a lot
they
of
can use
money.
it for they can use it for parks. Oh, where did you get it?
Um, so we're gonna quickly go through pantheism. We're gonna go to spiritism. Spiritism is the last of the worldviews. Just a little bit of background of pantheism. God is everything, and everything is God. And it isn't so much that God is in everyone; it is that collectively everything is God. And the universe and everything in it is divine and interconnected. Only the spiritual dimension exists. And man is one with some sort of ultimate reality that isn't defined and isn't personal. And people can become one with that reality if they're just enlightened enough. And truth comes through a oneness with the universe or with yourself, or it's a not the doctrine, and I can't even call it doctrine, is not defined. It's not like Judaism, and this is what we believe, and we all believe this. And this is what we believe in Christianity, and this is what we believe, and it isn't that defined. So when I remember Terry Cole Whitaker in seventh or in 10th grade, right? The crazy woman. Yeah. So and I told you that for my graduation present from high school, I went to California, and my cousin took me to see Terry Cole Whitaker's church, and we went to brunch afterward, and my cousin had a friend come with us, and they were talking about the sermon, and one of the things this young man said to me, and remember, I am all of 18 years old. I'm a kid, and he said two things that really stuck with me, obviously, because it's been a long time ago. He said that everything that happens to us in life, we subconsciously ask for it. And I asked, so did the Jews ask to be in the place they were in Nazi Germany? And he didn't bat an eyelash. He said, yes. And I said, that's ridiculous. Why would anyone ask for that? And then the other thing that he said was, he picked up his water glass and he said, a part of me is in this glass. My brother-in-law said two things. He said, why did he spit in it? He said, maybe you should have spit in it. And it said, now a part of me is in that glass too. But and it was even at 18 years old, I realized that that pantheistic religions are impossible to understand. It is not anything that you can quantify, and but it's very easy to live because you just live and do whatever you want to do. There's nobody that's telling you that anything is wrong or that isn't what you're supposed to believe or whatever. And that is pantheism. It is. And I think because of that, people think it's so. I'm sorry, this is the only word I can think of. Erudite. It's like so high and lofty and otherworldly, when really it's just gobbledygook. It makes no sense. It's very easy to live because there's no constraints, but it's impossible to understand. I'm convinced that even those who believe in pantheism can't understand what it is, what they believe. So We are going to move on here to how a pantheist. Well, I um, I have some pictures up here. There we go. And this also bleeds into spiritism, which is what we're going to talk about next. Especially the Pocahontas one, because everything has a soul, everything has a spirit, right? Um, but anybody know who Oprah is, right?
Sadly.
Yeah. So Oprah is very spiritual, and we're going to spend some time with Oprah soon. Uh, and um, and she's very spiritual. She was raised in the church, but she now believes in the light and being in the light, and that when we are in the light and we are operating out of the light, then that's when we are closest to God or closest to what we were supposed to be. And that's a pantheistic kind of idea. And then that up there is a knockoff of the Ark of the Covenant, and it was made so that it could heal the world. It's a box, pretty box, that's going to heal the world. And all of these reasons are why I say it's really easy to live out, because there are no constraints on you. But to wrap your mind around it is impossible. Play a clip for you yesterday.
Like the one about the boy who got the superpower.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Good.
But I think we should watch it again.
I wasn't here. I wasn't here.
We'll see if we have time at the end. We'll see. Okay, let's move on to what's being good. Thank you. Being good. Staying good. Let's move on to spiritism. I'd really like to get finished with this lesson before you graduate. So, how does the pantheist answer the 5 life questions? From where did I come? The universe created itself. I don't know if they believe that the universe is eternal. Obviously, scientifically, we now know that the universe isn't eternal, but it didn't have a cause. It just created itself. That, now is logically impossible after last year's class. But everything, the universe and everything in it, including human beings, is the result of random, impersonal, and undirected forces of nature. We did not come from a transcendent creator God, but are the result of evolutionary development over millions of years, billions of years, and in the beginning there was a Big Bang. That part's true. Why is there such a mess in the world? I'm not sure this is the exact right answer for a pantheist, but science has been abused to harm nature and human beings. But I think what they really believe, this is at least as I understand it, is the reason there's such a mess in the world is that people aren't enlightened. And it's unenlightened people, such as Christians, that make the mess in the world. And once you're enlightened, once you understand what is real, what is true, then you begin acting out of that enlightenment, and the world gets better. I think that is more accurate than what the book has to say. Is there any hope? And again, they talk about science, and I don't see pantheism as scientific at all. It's very much feeling and thinking, but um, not any kind of science to it. So the only hope of saving the earth is better and more ethical science. But I would say the only hope of saving the earth is for people to become enlightened, to know the truth uh, of, um, of pantheism, of the universe, and and then things will be better. So it's on us, and we're part as followers of Christ. We're part of the problem, not part of the solution. What is my purpose in life? And again, they say man's only purpose is to connect deeply and harmoniously with the universe. That is true. And nature and other humans, and to help others do so. And they do that largely by meditation, and that brings unity in the world, unity among people, and unity within the world. And so they spend a lot of time in meditation. There's nothing wrong with meditation. The Bible tells us to meditate as well, right? It's about, but the issue is on what are you meditating? You can meditate on something that is not godly. You can meditate on something that is not real. And so meditation isn't the problem. What we're meditating on is what matters. And then what happens when I die? The body will die and go through a series of rebirths or reincarnations until it eventually becomes one with the universe. And this oneness is called nirvana. And once you reach there, then you're not reborn anymore. And the way I had it explained to me is that you're born and you die and you're born again and you die and you go through this series of births and deaths and births, and eventually you just go poof into the universe and kind of cease to exist. So that's what they believe about what happens when we die. Okay, so I'm going to show you a pantheist clip, and then we'll get started on Spiritism and get as far as we can on that. I'm going to. Okay, so on to Spiritism. Oops, hang on. Okay, here we go. Spiritism. And you can see from this that everything that's in there is spiritual, right? You've got gods, spirits, demons, and so just like the opposite um, of humanism is spiritism. Humanism, only the physical world exists. There is no spiritual world. In Spiritism, only the spiritual world exists. There is no such thing as a physical universe. It's all spiritual. So the Spiritist rejects the God of the Bible, and they look to the spirit world for their reason for being, for everything that happens in life comes from the spirits. And the goal is to please the spirits, because if you please the spirits, good things happen. If you tick off the spirits, bad things happen. And Wicca, which is a form of witchcraft, is part of the Spiritist family. And I'll show you a couple things here. That was a TV show called Charmed about witches. And then you see Harry Potter, of course. You know Harry Potter. And then there's an anime thing that is spiritist. I don't know what's at the top there, but obviously it's a cartoon of some sort. So, so as I said, the focus of the spirit world is about both good and bad spirits. Um, they have this intelligent force that they might call God, but it is not the God of the Bible. And the main religion, quote unquote, is Wicca. Wicca is a witchcraft religion. And to tell you a little story, back in the day when my kids were little, I used to call I went to Walmart every week, and I called it the low light of my week because I had to take my kids with me, and I became convinced that Walmart pumps an odorless, um, uh, um, invisible substance into their vents that simultaneously causes children to misbehave and parents to lose their mind. I don't have any hard science on that, but I have plenty of anecdotal proof of that because my kids would act worse at Walmart than anywhere else, and everybody else's kids also were. So I started going to Walmart after Jeff got home from work. And so I'd go pretty late at night so that I didn't have to have these little ones dragging behind me. And I often saw this couple that were very striking, very tall and very striking, and they were dressed all in black. And the woman was in a long dress or maybe a skirt in black and a black hat and very black makeup. And the man again was in this black outfit. And I realized that they were members of Wicca, which is a type of witchcraft. And I remember just feeling this heaviness about these people, and it just it was kind of freaky to me, really. But that is Wicca is part of the Spiritist family. So the focus is on the spirit world and good and bad. They're good and bad spirits, and they have this idea of a God, but it's not an actual God, and it's not the God of the Bible. So everything is interpreted through a spiritual lens, and they want to do what pleases the spirits, which are actually demons, and not do things that make the spirits unhappy. So it's kind of a cause and effect. If you do the right thing, then you get the right result. If you do the wrong thing and you tick off the spirits, then you get a bad result. So it's all about making them happy and not making them angry. And so they interpret things after the fact. Oh, that didn't turn out well. I must have made one of the spirits unhappy. Or, that really turned out well for me. I must have made them happy. So, and truth is found through a medium sometimes. By the way, the Bible directs us to stay away from all such things like that. I have had a friend that I used to teach with that was not a believer, and she lost both of her parents, and she went to see a medium to contact her parents, and the guy knew things about her that he couldn't have known, and he told her things about her parents that he couldn't have known. here's the thing, and this is what I believe, and I believe this is why the Bible is so adamant that we not get into such things. I think there really are demons, and I think that's who they're contacting. They're not contacting that woman's parents, dead parents, and the demons. Satan is not all powerful, and he's not all knowing, and neither are the demons. But they know stuff. They are spiritual beings, and the Bible is adamant that we stay away from that, and it is dangerous. And Ouija boards, all that stuff. It is dangerous. Tarot cards, to get involved in that. You are just inviting evil in when you do that. So that medium, then, that person who has insight is what they usually call it, but extra knowledge can help you. But again, it is not a godly thing. So contact with the spirit world brings one into communion with various spirits and God, lowercase g, not the God of the Bible, but the God that they call God, and that it is a creative force in the universe, but not a personal God. And moral values are determined by the things, whether they, how the spirits respond. If you have a good outcome, then you made the spirits happy. If you irritate the spirits, then something's going to go wrong. But they look at it that, well, okay, that was the wrong thing to do because it turned out bad. Not because it turned out bad, but because the spirits made that happen so that that person would know not to do that. And then good works in life help ensure a person greater spiritual evolution. They believe in reincarnation, so the better you are, the higher you go with reincarnation, and the worse you are, then the lower you go in reincarnation, and they go through this series of birth and life and death and birth and life and death, trying to go higher on the in the spirit world. And Jesus is seen as maybe a positive role model to follow, but he's not viewed as God. He's not viewed as the Messiah in any way. We're going to stop there. We'll finish this up, I think, tomorrow finally. Yeah, yes. This is easier. Maybe watch the Chronicle video.